Hi everybody, it's Kim. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another card for the Simon Says Stamp Sunny Vibes release. Using this stamp set again. Like I said, I've got a few coming, so this is one of them. This is the Summer Fruit Tiles stamp set. It does have a coordinating stencil and die set. I don't have those, so all my creations were done with just the stamp set in mind. I'm going to use that, and I'm also going to use the Birthday Wishes die and shadow die from the June 2024 card kit. I've got my inks here in Melon, Cantaloupe, Guava, and Punch. And then I've got a quarter sheet, an A2 size sheet of Hammer Mill 100-pound smooth white cardstock. It's a nice finish on this one. My stamp platform and my metallic inks. And from the stamp set, I'm only going to use the solid box. So this is a way to take your supplies and stretch them just a little bit further. I'll move that off to the side. Okay, I've got the cardstock in the corner, my magnet down, and we'll start. And we're just going to layer these and have a little fun with the colors and the textures. Oops. I keep telling myself perfection is not required. I'll let you know how that's going. I'm going to start with my softest color here. I'm going to use, I've decided to add bubblegum to this as well, just as a softer tone. Pick everything up with the door. Shirts down. So I'm going to start with bubblegum. This dries back to a really nice pinky purple. And we're going to do 2 coats. Oh, that's pretty. And I'm going to rotate this. The sticky mat from Waffle Flower is great. Write this down with the new microfiber cloth here from Simon Says Stamp. So they're black, which I love. So it doesn't get quite as messy. Then we're going to go with the soft peach color melon, or melon color melon. I lift the edge of my Misty because my door is cracked. But we're making it work. It's a lovely soft color. I think we're going to leave that one as a 1. So let's go for the next positioning. We'll do 1 down here. And we'll add 1 here. There's no right or wrong here. It's about just whatever kind of tickles your fancy. I'm trying to overlap a little, give it a little variation of color. And we'll do that. And I think we'll go guava for this one. I'm trying to go light to dark so that the colors will layer. Oh, that's pretty. So I think you get the idea from here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep stamping. I'm going to put music on over the next part, and I'll just speed through this a little bit. I'll fast forward as I'm going. So I've got all the colors done. I do have to let this dry for a little bit, and then I'm going to do some gold splatter on here. Splatter, spatter, pretty sparkly stuff. That's what I'm going to put on here. This is a little box of handmade paints I've got from CSY Art Gallery. They're really pretty. So I'll let that dry for a few minutes, get the paint activated, because you do need to do that with your watercolors. You want to let it sit a little. So I'm going to do a little gold and a little white and let that activate the paint. And we'll zoom back in a minute and we'll move on to part 2. Alrighty, so this has dried for a little bit. You can see the colors are already softening back really nicely. And what I'm going to do is I have this, I forget what these are called. They're like a tea towel material. They're really soft and lint free. And I try really hard to not get this on my camera and everywhere else. And I normally have a separate box that I do this type of stuff with. But hey, we're going to live dangerously today. So you can see over here, I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the paint. Not too much. And again, normally I would test this, but we're going to live dangerously today. Just a little bit of magical sprinkles of color across the middle. I have a little watercolor palette here. Pick up a little bit more water. A bit more white. And the nice thing with something like this is you can customize your smattering of color, I'm going to call it, to whatever coordinates best. And that's what we're going to have. Now this does have to dry and then we'll move on to the final part. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so this has dried. The magical smattering of color is lovely and shiny and reflective. I love it. We're going to do this. Now off camera, I did die cut this out already. So I have the backer done in vellum, and then I have the main done in just same paper. It's the hammer mill. And I've got my little pokey tool here from Simon. And this is just a silicone mat. It's actually from Concord 9th. And I really like it for things like this because it will hold the dies and things in place for what I'm going to do next. Now this one's only a little bit tricky because it is in 2 pieces as opposed to 1. But so you got to make sure you save the dots of the eyes. Those are called tittles. I know, funny word, but that's what they are. And what I have is I've picked up a little bit of the softer color ink here with the Altenew large flat blending brush. And we're going to give this a little bit of color to coordinate. So I just wanted a little bit of color so it wasn't white. Alrighty. So this will just layer on top here. And there's nothing terribly fancy about this. Okay, this is all done. We're going to move on to the next phase. One thing I do recommend when you're adhering down with liquid glue on vellum is that a clear acrylic block like this or something heavy on it for a few seconds just to hold everything in place so it dries evenly. Very helpful. That's one of those. And we're going to put this on the card base and then we're going to attach the birthday wishes. Now, there is a chance that this is too big for the panel because that's how it goes sometimes, which I can see that it is. So I will attach it first and then I will trim the edges. I'm going to go light up. And I'm going to use liquid glue just because it gives me a couple of seconds of wiggle room. And I'm bringing in my scoreboard here because I find it really helpful to put my card base in the corner and then line this up as well. So that will hold it down. And then I'm going to take that bigger acrylic block that I have, let it set on there for a second to hold it while I put this away, just to let that set. And because of liquid glue and vellum, you don't want it to show through. So I'm just careful with placement as I just smudge that. And little dots. Got my fine tip one for this, but we'll make it work. Just little dots behind most of it to hold it in place. It doesn't actually require a ton of glue. it will work. If you want dimension, you can double up the die cut on the back. My handy dandy T-square. I'm going to just center that, I think, more or less. Yeah, about there. I'm eyeballing. Usually I do that from directly above it, but hey, we're just living on the edge today. Okay, and that's that. That one is done. So again, this is just using the solid stamps out of the Fruit Tiles stamp set, and you can have a lot of fun and create a really interesting card that you can color coordinate in your person's favorite colors. I do hope you liked this. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. If you haven't already, I would love it if you'd subscribe. I do try to post semi-regularly, working on doing better, so I do appreciate the support and encouragement. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day.